Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming at you again with another vid. Now, I wanted to share you some interesting news on the Deontay Wilder and Alexander Povetkin situation. Now, I know I said on previously that I'm not going to comment on this story anymore until the WBC comes up with a final ruling on the matter. But this one right here was quite interesting, and I saw this article from Boxing Scene. Uh, Now, when Povetkin had tested positive for meldonium on the first sample, on the A sample, um, Wilder's team, DiBella Entertainment, Lou DiBella, they pulled out. They decided to not go forward with the fight. They were going to go back home to the U.S. and find some other options, regroup, and find some other options, whatnot. Okay. Rabatsky, was adamant to come out and say that, if you think you're going to do that, then you got another thing coming. I'm going to take you to litigation on this. I'm going to file a lawsuit on you guys, blah, 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 for trying to back out of the fight. Well, before I get into that, add my 2 cents on that, let me read you these interesting points in this article. Now, according to this article, the lawsuit was filed by the World of Boxing, which is Rabatsky's promotional company that promotes Alexander Povetkin and Denis Ledebev, who's the unified and linear cruiserweight champion. So, the lawsuit is seeking damages for defamation and breach of contract, which was filed today by Rabatsky. The complaint was lodged today in the United States District Court of the Southern District of New York. The defendants are World Heavyweight Champion Deontay Wilder, DiBella Entertainment, and the CEO Lou DiBella. The claim is at least $34.5 million. Now, on May 21st, 2016, a fight organized by World of Boxing was due to take place in Moscow between Povetkin and Wilder, in which the latter was to defend his championship title. But Wilder refused to fight because of one of Povetkin's samples, the fourth of the six, tested positive for traces of meldonium, which is 0.7 micrograms per metrium. Now, such a small amount of meldonium could not have been due to doping between two tests, even if the meldonium doses have been taken and the level would have been a dozen times higher. As a result, the WBC has postponed the fight pending clarification. Meanwhile, the WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, had previously acknowledged that the process of excretion of substance from the body can take many months, had not been fully studied. Despite this, the U.S. side, which is Wilder's camp, hurriedly made a public statement about the fight being canceled, and ran to the press accusing Russian boxer of taking bad substance and lying about it. Similar statements were published repeatedly in the press. Rabatsky, head of the World Boxing Promotion, said, quote, "The Wilder side has behaved in an unsporting and disrespectful way." Now, before I continue, let me just say the previous quotes that I read was actually a statement from the World of Boxing. This is coming from them. Now, Povetkin had proceeded by saying that the Wilder side has behaved in an unsporting and disrespectful way. Now, I'm convinced they did this deliberately because they were afraid of the fight with Povetkin, but we will not let this pass unchallenged. Interesting. Now, Povetkin's partner, the lawyer, Amira Kuchitiev, who's the partner of the foreign legal firm who's representing World of Boxing, says, quote, "We rate the chances of winning quite high, as while the statements have been extremely negatively impacted on the reputation of one of our most respected boxers in the world." Now, I will leave it at that, and I'm going to add my 2 cents. Now, the statement of the World of Boxing has actually left quite some holes here regarding the meldonium case. Now, we've all been back and forth about this on many occasions for the last, month or so. Yes, the traces amount was 0.7. It was in his blood. But the statement, that's what they said, but the statement left out the fact that this was a urine sample that was taken, and Povetkin failed it. The statement also left out the fact that he did pass 3 tests 3 tests before he failed the 4th one. and he failed the B sample on the fourth one. So, yeah, it left that out there. And the last thing that the statement left out is the fact that even though an athlete has tested positive for the lower traces amount, but if they're order for them to be exonerated, they have to test positive before March 1st of this year. Now, if an athlete has been found with the lower traces amount after March 1st, then the WADA will have to investigate. They must be investigated because there has to be determined whether they have actually, what time they actually taken the drug, and whether they could have used the masking agent on the previous tests to cover up those results. So I'm not saying that Povetkin did that. What I'm saying is that's a highly possibility what they're investigating. That's why the WBC, in conjunction with WADA, are investigating at this point. But needless to say, let me go into this lawsuit and add my opinion to this, maybe a legal opinion. First things first, breach of contract. Now, Rybinski, I don't understand how in the world can he win a case on a breach of contract right there, because it was the WBC who postponed the fight or canceled, however you want to call it. Why isn't he suing the WBC? They're the ones who canceled the fight, not Wilder and his team. So I can't see how he can win this case on that front right there. Now, as far as defamation, it's a very, very touchy situation because Deontay Wilder had previously came out and made public statements by accusing Povetkin of being on performance enhancement drugs way before the Mendonian situation came about. And this is right after the Mike Perez fight where Povetkin had knocked him out, which shocked everyone. So Wilder had made accusations then. So that could be possible, but my thing is this. Why did Rybinski sue Wilder then when he made that claim? Why is he suing him now for defamation? So that to me is very odd. And as far as the breach of contract, no, it doesn't have a leg to stand on. I don't think Rybinski can win that. But then again, who knows? He is a powerful billionaire. All right? And let me touch on Rybinski, for example, because I find this very, very odd, and I'm quite flabbergasted by his actions, because this guy immediately sued Don King for $1.6 million for the failed drug test of Guillermo Jones when he was supposed to fight Denis Ledebev back in 2014, I think. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. And he won the case, right? So when your fighter does the same thing, he tested positive. And, well, actually, you know what? Before I get into that, when Guillermo Jones tested positive, you immediately canceled the fight. You demanded that the fight shouldn't go forward with Ledebev and Jones. But now we have a reversal of fortune here, that your fighter Povetkin fails a drug test, and Wilder's team wants to pull out. They don't want no part of the fight. Then you want to go ahead and say that, you know what, you're not getting away from this. You're going to fight my fighter no matter what. And this is only layman's terms. It's not from verbatim. So I find that a bit hypocritical for him to go and say things like that. Again, you take a look at the Guillermo Jones situation. If anybody doesn't know anything about that, I'll post a link to the article below so you can take a look at it. So I find it hypocritical for Rybinski to, for his actions to be this way. To act as if that what Povetkin did wasn't wrong. Okay, everyone has their opinion about that, but the fact is that your fighter failed the drug test. He had a bad substance in his system, and you have yet to explain how did he pass 3 tests. It failed the 4th one if it was a traces amount left from the last time you took it, which is back in 2015. That makes no sense. You haven't explained that yet, and no one has quite explained that yet. So, again, the only thing left now is for the WBC to make a final ruling on the matter. But, again, yeah, I just wanted to point out, give you guys an update on the lawsuit that has been filed today, and the fact that Rybinski is actually acting a bit hypocritical here. It just goes to show what his intentions are. Now, since this lawsuit has been filed, I don't know, man. The likelihood of this fight being made between Povetkin and Wilder has gotten very, very slim now, man. Rybinski, maybe the fight could have happened if Rybinski didn't proceed with the lawsuit, but I don't know, man. I know he's seeking damages, whatnot. Could he win? It looks slim. On the defamation part, he probably has a case there, but as far as the breach of contract, no, I don't see him winning that on that perspective. But then again, The judge could look back and say, well, okay, if you're claiming defamation, explain how your fighter failed the drug test. Of course, he's going to bring up the, the Meldonia situation and the Waters findings and studies and whatnot. But the judge is going to look further and say, well, explain to me how your client failed the fourth B sample, and yet he passed the first 3 initial tests without the traces being found. Explain that. So that's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, I just wanted to put this out. I'll drop a link to the article below about the statement that was put out by the World of Boxing via Boxing Scene. Shout out to them, by the way. And again, I'm going to post a link to the article about the Guillermo Jones and the Dennis Ledebev situation. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Care to comment, share, subscribe. Signing off. And one more thing. Do you think Povetkin has a case here? Do you think he'll win it against Wilder's team? Or do you think he doesn't have much of a case? Let me know what you think. I'm out. Peace.